Yo, yo, yo. What's up? The Booth Review is back. I'm sure many of you thought you would never hear, let alone see, our faces ever again. But here we are. You know, Greg, I was often told I had a face for radio, but other industry cliches and such. But here we are. We're back.
Yeah. I get told the same thing, so it's nice to kind of prove some people wrong, I guess.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the seven listeners have to say. But,
Yeah.
man, we're happy to be back and bringing you guys some content. It may be purely out of boredom, but
Nonetheless, content, though, so.
Exactly. Hashtag content.
Hashtag content, yeah.
Anyway, Greg, it's been about a year and a half, give or take, since we dropped some hashtag content for you all. I thought it would be nice to just kind of fill everyone in, let them know what we've been, where we've been, what we've been up to.
Yeah. Well, I think our last show was, we were talking about it before here, was Florida, Wisconsin. It was after the Sweet 16, the Chioza Hail Mary. So since then, I've just been working in TV and radio, working some college football games, some NCAA March Madness, some AAC tournament in Orlando, some American Athletic Conference tournaments, primetime stuff, the big bucks stuff. Yeah, just working some Florida softball, Florida volleyball, Florida baseball for TV, some exhilarating games, of course. But yeah, Pat, what have you been up to?
Man, you mentioned working for college football, and that was precisely what I did. I kind of took a little leap, and I started working as a manager for the Florida football team, starting in the spring of 17 all the way through the end of last season. And man, it was, as my Australian counterparts would say, it was heaps of fun. At times, man, we could do an entire episode alone on the ups and downs of being a manager for a major SEC program. But
I would actually love to hear that. We should do that.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. I loved working with the guys. I loved the coaches. The actual equipment manager part of it was maybe not the most fun, but hey, man, every job has its ups and downs, and I would definitely say overall the experience working as a manager was definitely more fun than shitty, I guess.
Yeah, well, you and I got to see each other on the field a couple of times, which was cool.
I meant that also.
Yeah.
I'd be holding my towels, doing my thing, like chilling on the sideline, making sure all the boys had everything they needed, and then I'd see Greg walking by with this big bundle of wine.
Yeah, a big 24-pack of Aquafinas taken to the cameramen and women on the field in your 95-degree heat.
It was a really fun experience. I got to be on the sideline for every single game except for Missouri last year, which consequently was our biggest beatdown. So I think that had a
blessing in disguise.
That had a little bit of something to do with me not being there. But
what happened in Jacksonville?
Hey man, sometimes it just gets away from you.
That's true.
Man, I have a lot of distinct memories from that season, and that game there was a lot of very distinct memories I had from that game. You might remember that was the week leading up to that game. That was kind of where the whole death threats, the thing, McElwain dropped the death threats.
How could I forget?
That whole week kind of leading up was when the rumor mill really started to fire up about, McElwain's gonna get fired. This is his last game, and honestly, I truly didn't buy it either until we were literally on the bus to the stadium to get ready for the game, and I was like, some of the stuff I was seeing on Twitter was a lot more credible than some of the things I had only heard, and I was like, all right, wow, I mean, I guess this is really happening, and then, I'm in the locker room pregame, and the team arrives, and my boy Scott Strickland, I shouldn't say my boy, he might give me a job one day, so maybe I'll be a little more formal.
Yeah, Mr. Strickland, I guess you could say.
He was standing in the locker room looking very, very stone-faced and solemn, and I was clearly having a rough day, and Coach Mack was the first one to walk through the door, and Scott very quickly pulled him aside into the coach's locker room, and I can only imagine what the conversation going on there was, but needless to say, McElwain did not survive the end of that week.
Do you think Scott Strickland threatened Coach Mack with death?
He may have threatened him with his job.
Yeah. Interesting. That's cool. That's interesting. You have to like see that firsthand.
And I very vividly remember like watching that duo disappear around the corner and be like, wow, like I think I just watched Coach.
Yeah. Did I just watch Coach Mack get fired?
Yeah, man, that was a rough week. The whole team knew. I think the point that they arrived at the stadium, the whole team knew that Coach was pretty much done, and it definitely showed up in the play on the field that week.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you kind of picked an unfortunate year to.
I say that a lot.
I mean, you did get to see the Franks to Cleveland, Hail Mary.
Yeah, I told a lot of people the only thing that I really want out of like my being a student at the University of Florida was to like rush the field at the end of the game, and I knew that would never really happen like as a fan in the stands, but on the sideline, you win on a Hail Mary, you get to rush the field.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, dreams come true.
That's a good feeling. I don't even like really watch the play anymore. I just kind of like watch where I am on the field, and I like to like pick out. You can see me like running into the dog pile.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, that's cool. There's actually, speaking of that, I did get about 15 seconds of fame, I guess, on ESPN one night when we hosted Texas A&M. They threw. I was gripping, so I was gripping for a cameraman, which is basically a very glamorous job holding wires on the field in the heat. So I was holding the wires for one of the remote camera guys who's going up and down the sideline getting shots of the game for the Jumbotron, and we're in the corner of the end zone by where the cheerleaders are, like behind the corner of the end zone, and Texas A&M throws a little.
I remember this.
I sent you the Snapchat, and maybe I'll upload it into the video when I upload this. It'll corner out, and so I'm not paying attention really, and A&M throws a corner out, well defended. I forget by who, but pass gets broken up, and I look up, and I just kind of like, oh. And I have to get out of the way. And, I mean, I kind of displayed a little bit of athleticism there, my smidgen that I have.
Quickness, getting in and out of his cuts?
Yeah, I got my ankle work in. I literally would have, like, I'm so glad. I'm so thankful that I looked up when I looked up, because if I didn't, both of my ankles would have been wiped out. I'd be a living meme, probably, which would be weird, which would have sucked.
Would have been either awesome or really dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Probably the latter. So
oh man, yeah, I would definitely say we both have a very interesting perspective on college football and kind of what it takes to put on a game and such.
Yeah, seriously. From the broadcast side to the actual teams.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, we kind of touched on it a little bit. Gators football, man. You're a UF student currently. I'm a recent grad. I'm sad to say.
Congrats, by the way. Congrats.
I appreciate it. But so let's talk Florida football, man.
Let's do it.
Let's just jump right into it. What is your record prediction for the season? I'm putting you on the hot seat right now.
On the hot seat, 8-4.
8-4.
8-4. 8-4.
This might be a little unfair. But, you say 4, what are those 4 losses?
Okay, I have a bad feeling about Tennessee.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just have a bad feeling about Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, I think you got to say Georgia.
I'll give you that one. That's fair.
I think we lose to Mississippi State as well. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if we beat them. Although that would mean back-to-back losses on the road.
Mm-hmm.
In general, but I think Tennessee, Mississippi State, Georgia, and I'm gonna say South Carolina. I'm gonna say we beat Florida State though.
Okay, I think a lot of Florida fans would take that season, just with the angst that kind of comes with losing to Florida State for 5 years in a row now.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as my prediction, man, the way I've been putting it is like I would say our floor is 6 wins and our ceiling is 10. I mean, I could make an argument that we go undefeated. Like, I could make any argument for any record, but so like, if you were going to play law of averages, it would probably fall right on that 8-4 mark. But man, I'm confident, so I'm going to say 9-3 officially. Locking
it in. So that's your final. That's your final answer.
Mm-hmm.
And those 3 losses. Let's hear them.
Georgia, I'll give you that. Probably. If we're going to do one in the first half of the season, it's going to be Mississippi State. and I agree with you. I'd say either Missouri or South Carolina gets the best of us.
Yeah.
But
I don't think people are giving Missouri enough credit, or South Carolina for that matter.
Or we're either not giving them enough credit, or we're all giving them way too much credit.
Mm-hmm.
No. And I feel like Mississippi State might be slightly overrated. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Joe Moorhead is a first-time head coach.
Yes, he is.
Taking over I'm not sure what the right word would be, but like a kind of crazy fan base. Klanga.
Yeah, the Cowbells.
And Mullen kind of gave them a different idea of what Mississippi State can be, so they might have a little higher expectations than they should, in my opinion.
I think some of that has to do with the fact that they still have Nick Fitzgerald, so that transition period is a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, also, I did look it up. We were wrong. He's coached at Moorhead. Moorhead has coached at Fordham.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'd be cool if he coached at Moorhead State. Coach Moorhead at Moorhead State.
Oh, yeah.
But
So I have already made myself look like a fool on the podcast.
Yeah, it's a good start. It's a good start to the new season in the podcast. We're both 0 for 1 on facts.
So I'll just amend that. He's a first-time FBS head coach.
Yes.
Okay. But anyway, I mean, I do agree. I think that's a very losable game. But at the same time, if we make it through the first 3 weeks undefeated, and then if we win that game, man, we're off and rolling. That's gonna smell a little bit like 2015, where we found ourselves 6-0 all of a sudden, and we didn't even really know what to do with ourselves. But all I'm saying is, I would say it's about a 50-50 chance that we go into Florida Georgia week undefeated. So
who I was talking to, friend of the show from before, Andrew Jernavoy, and he thinks we're going to be very good. He was saying. He also was saying we're going to go into Jacksonville undefeated.
I don't think that's unreasonable. I mean,
it definitely isn't from a talent standpoint. It's almost likely.
Mm-hmm.
It's just with the quarterback play has to be there. I mean, we have everything else. We have a stable of running backs. I'd say we have our best all-around running back right now since Mike Gillislee. And I think Malik Davis is that guy if he's healthy.
Yeah.
And you have Scarlett still. You have Pirine. You have Lemons. Tony, when he's not toting around his AR-15, I hope can be pretty good. But yeah, we have talent.
My dad.
Wait, say that again?
Legally, I might add.
Very true, very true. But yeah, we have the talent. Wide receivers are actually looking pretty good with the transfers. Van Jefferson and Trayvon Grimes. Tight ends looking like I'm sure they'll be serviceable. We don't have Clay Burton anymore. Or
Venice legend, man.
Yes. Yeah, he's from Venice?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, no way. Close to home.
Yeah, very.
But yeah, so we're looking good. I mean, the offensive line's a big key and as well. But the main thing with me is the play calling. It's going to be aggressive. I'm hoping, right? Like, we're not going to go into games playing scared, and I hope coaching to not lose. We're going to hopefully play to win.
That's
as cliche as that is, it's important.
It's the same. Not that this should make you happy, but just imagine the same offense you had last year, and then add our best running back who I think it should be mentioned that we were missing our two best players on the team last year in Callaway and Scarlett. So I'm sure that kind of lent itself to the 4 and 7-ish. But
of course,
obviously Callaway gone, but Scarlett back. I think that's a 12 to 1,300 yard rusher right there. I mean, that's your man, that's your horse, and you can drop anyone in there in the number 2 role behind him, and I don't think there's any drop off anywhere you go.
Oh,
and
no doubt.
Each back has such a distinct skill set. I just think it's you really can't go wrong in that situation, and it's like you said, the coaching will just be light years different. I can speak to it personally, man. Not a lot of coaching going on the sidelines. At least for the offense, I always found that the defense was trying their hardest.
Yeah, that's kind of the story of Florida football for the past almost 10 years. Just all defense and a little bit of offense.
Mm-hmm. So you say you would hope that the play calling would be more aggressive. I don't even think it needs to really be that. Quarterback, if we want to use cliches, really just has to be game manager. make the smart throws and throws that are open, and then run the ball 65% of the time. And I know a lot of Florida fans probably don't want to hear that, but like that's how we're going to win 8 to 9 to 10 games a season. Just totally talk with that stacked backfield.
Well, yeah, I mean we got to play to our strengths, and I think like you mentioned just now, the running game is definitely the strength.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of backs, like you said, different skill sets. So I'm looking forward to like a downhill running game. I mean that's Mullen's offenses were like that when he was here in the past. Another thing I'm really excited for, and I think McElwain and Nussmeier struggled with this, is they never tailored the offense to the players, the personnel. It was never. It was the offense. It went scheme first, personnel second, and I think Mullen is more so personnel first, scheme second. You look back in 2005 and 2006, with Chris Leak, that offense was way different than it was in 2007 and 2008 with a running quarterback like Tebow. So he's able to, fit the offense to his players' strengths. So with Franks, do you think Franks is going to be running a lot? What's your, or do you even think he's going to start?
Yeah, I will go on record and say that I think Franks will start, but like at the same time, if Mullen came out and was like, we'll give it to Trask game 1, I wouldn't be like shocked. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked. But yes, I do think it'll be Franks. Just from like what I've heard from people I know who are still in the program, it's like Franks is still the same quarterback. He's still going to struggle with decision making a little bit. That can get coached out eventually, but maybe not over the course of 1 year. So I think like you said, it really is up to the coaches to really fit the scheme to him, and I think that is exactly Dan Mullen's strength. And I think you see it pretty much every year with Mississippi State. Like they had to tailor the whole thing to Dak Prescott as he was coming up and being developed, and especially last year with Nick Fitzgerald, their passing offense was like in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Like people don't really realize that, but like that's not a good passing offense. But the running attack was like where they made their bread.
Yeah, it was lethal every year.
Yep. And like going back to last year, before Heggie went down, and before Malik Davis went down, they were running the damn ball like at a good clip, surprisingly.
Yeah. When Davis went down, that really just kind of killed the season, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was looking like...
He wasn't already dead at that point.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, we were running the ball really well. It was disappointing to see how it finished, but yeah, if we can just kind of get back to running the ball well on offense, I think we have a chance every game. The kicking situation is going to be different. No more Eddie.
I'm confident.
Who is the kicker?
I don't know. We don't know yet. That's the thing. We don't know yet.
Okay.
But I've seen Jorge Powell work every day. I mean, you're right. It's not going to be Eddie, where it's like you trot him out there from 55 and you have no doubt he's draining that thing. But I'm confident in Jorge's accuracy and consistency. Maybe not his leg strength, but the new freshman we just brought in, Evan McPherson, I think was either the number 1 or number 2 kicker in the country last year. So I am confident in his ability as well. I don't know if he'll get the nod right away, just because Jorge's been around for like 5 years at this point.
Yeah, I didn't know he was still here.
He's got a little kicking experience under his belt. I thought he was done as well. But,
He's still kicking.
Dude, we're talking about special teams right now. We might as well talk about punter.
Yeah, well, we have to. I mean, our punting was our strong suit last year. That was the best aspect of our team.
Yeah, shout out to Rory and Swag, who actually got Johnny Townsend on FaceTime last night.
Oh, wow. How did that happen?
Just some girl had his number. I don't know.
True.
Swag has a history of being able to get in touch with Florida football players.
I won't question it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, we said the name Townsend, I think, and this is not a guarantee because I know we have a little bit of a battle going on punter right now. But it's looking like it's either going to be our man Tommy Townsend,
right.
the former Tennessee Volunteer and brother of Johnny Townsend, and also recently adopting the flow. It's either going to be him or my guy Jacob Finn. So we'll see. We'll see what Mullen rolls with.
Yeah, it's a big battle to keep an eye on. That's what we do here at UF. We keep an eye on the punter, who's going to win the punting job.
Well, that's all we had for quite a few years. So.
Yeah.
Well, what else, man? I think we should probably talk about defense a little bit.
Yeah, can't forget about those guys.
What are some talking points?
I'm looking forward to the secondary. I think that's going to be the strength of the defense.
Really?
A lot of youngsters, but they're raw and they're really good. And there was a lot of depth there. We had a lot of freshmen last year.
Mm-hmm.
Henderson, Wilson. You got, let's see, Jawan Taylor's young. Brad Stewart's young. Drawing blanks on the rest of those guys, but we do have some depth, I think.
I understand because there's not a lot of experience back there, but those are my boys. That was my position group who I was working with the majority of the time. So I will not tolerate any defensive back slander on this podcast.
All right, well, you're not going to get any from me because I love our DBs.
Yeah, man. Marco, that's a future first rounder right there, and CJ as well. I think Marco's definitely a little more polished just because, his destiny was always to play defensive back. That's just, as we know, it just runs in his bloodlines. And, he came in with the mentality that, not even with the mentality, the expectation that he was going to be the starter day one, and CJ too. And I think they both, and I was surprised working with them for all of fall camp. And not to say that they didn't look good, but they came in and I think you could say there was no drop off at all, nearly. And those are true freshmen right there. He's playing in that seat.
I mean, CJ had 2 pick sixes in the first 2
He played defensive back his senior year in high school. He was playing wide receiver most of the time. So, I was surprised and proud of them to see them come in and just light it up their freshman year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it this year. I mean, we had a lot of pick sixes last year, which was crazy. I think we had 3 in the first 2 games.
Yeah, 4 if CJ doesn't fumble on the 1-yard line. That's South Carolina.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to somebody about that earlier. That was a crazy play.
That could have changed that game. Oh, and Chauncey got shoestring tackled after he picked that one off in the end zone and almost came back. Yep. As well.
And then, of course, the offense went out there and punted it away. So.
Oh, gosh, man.
Yeah, Chauncey's going to be there, too. So.
Chauncey took some heat last year.
Yeah.
From the fan base. I think Chauncey is just a classically misunderstood football player, though, in the sense of that he's so talkative and he plays with so much energy and almost like a reckless abandonment that, sometimes his passion can be misconstrued for, undisciplined play. But the truth is, Chauncey's not a safety, and he played safety all year last year, and that's just not his position. That's not really where he fits exactly. So I think it was a little unfair of fans to expect him to throw his very undersized body just at bodies coming downhill at him, 100% of the time. I understand he missed a lot of tackles, but those are tackles that, he probably has not had to really make that much in his career. And I can tell you at Chauncey, he hears the criticism and he does respond to it. And you can definitely see that he turned his game around at the end of the year last year.
Yeah,
so
I think
it's thankful for Chauncey Gardner.
I think he may have learned his lesson to keep his mouth quiet a little bit against Georgia when he accused Jake Fromm of only being able to throw slants, which if you remember, he completed that slant. I forget who, but Chauncey got run over right on that slant. So that was just kind of add insult to injury with that game. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Chauncey. This is going to be his junior year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be the leader back there.
Oh, absolutely. I'm telling you right now, man, he's playing in the perfect position. He's basically just getting to roam around the field. And they call it the star position, and I'm telling you, he will be the star of that defense.
All right, you said it.
I'm telling you, 3 interceptions right now. At least one of those is coming back for a touchdown. Countless pass breakups. Tackles for losses, sacks. He's coming off the edge. I'm telling you, man, he's getting 2 sacks this year. I promise you that.
You know what? I wasn't even that excited for football season until just now. You just got me pretty jacked up.
I have that tendency, man.
We have a caller at ESPN Gainesville, since I work as a producer there, named Lance, who you know, who's one of his favorite saying. Yeah, Lance from Jasper is he loves to say, "Oh man, I'm all jacked up, man," and that's kind of how I feel right now. I'm ready for September 1st.
Yeah, man, you gonna be there? Oh yeah, we were just talking about this. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I might be out of town working a different game, or I might be in Gainesville. So kind of just playing the waiting game, just to wait and see what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But
so I think we kind of covered most of it. I think one more thing that needs to really be mentioned is the defensive line that Florida is going to bring into the picture this year. And especially with new defensive coordinator Todd Grantham's team, that man is a wizard with the blitz, and he's not hesitant to call it much. Almost, I think a lot of people would add to his dismay that he has a tendency to let the big play go. So when you're bringing,
you're bringing numbers.
When you're bringing numbers, you're leaving empty spaces on the field, and so yeah, there will be big plays this year. There will be big long touchdowns, but there's also going to be record amounts of sacks and turnovers. So
record amounts, I like it.
We're Florida fans. That's what we're here for.
That's
man.
true. That's true. See, I am excited about the D line. I agree with you. I think we have some big boys.
There's literally too many names to overhaul them.
The list is long for sure. But what I will say is, as far as being optimistic or pessimistic for this season, in the past I've always been optimistic. Like I'm always telling people, this is a year. I'm done doing that. Like I've seen this movie. Like this is my 5th year here, so I've seen this 4 times. I know 1 year wasn't that bad, the Greer year, but until he got suspended. But I'm done being optimistic. I just can't do it anymore.
Really, that's really sad that I lost one because as you can tell, I'm a sunshine pumper. I'm an optimist.
I'm forming my own posse. That's the pessimistic posse. So I'm taking applications, and all are welcome.
Don't let LeBron hear you say that word. I'm just telling you.
Well, I don't think LeBron's going to watch, but hey, if he does, I'll. If he tells me not to say anymore, I'm not going to tell LeBron no. So
shout out to LeBron. Shout out to the King.
Yeah.
And shout out to Tang.
I was just going to say shout out to Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang, if you're out there, shout out.
I never thought I would stand so hard for a basketball player, but here I am.
Yeah. LeBron just has that effect on people, It's just
really, truly. Anyway, bold predictions for the season, Greg. Give me something that's going to blow my mind.
Bold predictions. Does Ohio State not firing Urban Meyer count?
Given recent events, no. I think that one is off the table.
Yeah. Okay, bold prediction. Honestly, I'm looking at week 1 right now. I think FAU has a legitimate chance of beating Oklahoma.
Yes, dude, I love it. This could have been one of mine. Okay. I'm absolutely 100% on board with the Lane Kiffin train. Yeah. And I think OU, you could be looking at a little bit of a hangover without Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
That's not a good. I shouldn't say it's not a good defense. It's not a great defense, and that's a high-flying offense and a program that's hungry coming in. And I don't see a reason why Kiffin wouldn't have them ready to go week 1.
Yeah, no doubt. They're going to be probably as ready as they will be all season week 1, and Oklahoma probably not. So
exactly.
Keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I cannot wait to come back to this when they win.
100%. What about you? Let's get a bold prediction. We'll go 1-1 here because I don't have that many right now.
Can I say Florida State has a losing record, or is that just too much?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
No, they probably won't have a losing record, but I would say 6 wins for Florida State.
They do have a tough schedule, so.
I think Virginia Tech. I think they lose week 1.
As I pull it up right now, yeah, Vatex. That's a tough opener. Now, is that in Tallahassee or is that?
Yeah, I believe it is in Tallahassee.
Okay.
However,
it's a conference game, so they wouldn't.
As we know, that has not stopped opponents in the past.
Yeah.
See Louisville, see UNC,
NC State,
see Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Above.
Just don't see Florida, but.
Just don't see.
Everybody but us. Everybody with less talent but us. But yeah, Florida State's got a tough schedule. They open up with Vatech, as you mentioned. Week 3, they're going up to Syracuse to play the Big Orange. Could be tough.
I think that's an L, dude. I was having this conversation with my brother the other day, who was an FSU grad. And we were running down the list, and I was just trying to get him to really open his eyes and understand that, I don't know, man. I don't know if Willie's it.
I don't know. It's interesting, I never. Well, first of all, I never would have thought Florida State would be in this position with a new head coach. I thought Jimbo was there for the long haul. So I'm kind of happy he's not there. Not from a standpoint of like, oh, they don't have Jimbo Fisher anymore, but from a standpoint of Florida State thinking that their program is like some just massive program that it's every head coach's dream.
Right.
Because we got a news flash when Meyer left that okay, I guess this program's not that desirable because this isn't his dream job. Clearly. So I was kind of happy to see Florida State not be Jimbo's dream job. That's what I'm trying to get at here. But yeah, Willie's the guy. He's a big Florida State fan. He grew up in Knoll. He actually USF played Florida State a couple times, and I remember hearing that his family came to the game but wore Florida State gear. So that's how devoted they are.
Yeah. Shout out to Willie Tiger. #941.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, they have a tough schedule, no doubt. So I can see 6 wins. That's not a stretch.
Yeah, I probably won't even make it to the end of the night. I think an FSU fan's going to come get me.
Yeah. Lock your doors. Make sure you stand your ground, though, if someone does come. This is Florida, so we can legally stand our ground,
Right. You said a name there that I think we should probably touch on a little bit. You want to guess which one it was?
Jimbo Fisher.
I wish, dude.
Oh.
$5 million man.
Of course not. Of course not. I misspoke. It's of course Urban Meyer.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we really have words that would do enough justice for the situation.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. It's a weird situation. I think we both are in agreement that it should have been handled probably differently.
Probably very differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so amazing to me how I guess widely accepted it was at this point. Like after the whole thing in Florida, where like 31 players got arrested and like Hernandez was probably killing people, and I thought it was pretty well accepted that Urban Meyer was like scum of the earth after that. So it was not surprising to hear about all the allegations, but I thought it was very surprising for now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't find it surprising. I guess because I'm pretty cynical when it comes to this stuff, but like for an institution as big and as renowned as Ohio State to like just very actively like try to do anything they can to like find a way to say like, yeah, he messed up, but we'll keep him. I mean, from the whole like, oh, he was on medication that he forgets stuff, or he didn't deliberately lie to Brett McMurphy at Big Ten Media Days, and then how we found out that as soon as all these allegations dropped, the first thing he did was try and find out how to delete messages from his iPhone, like from all the messages from up to a year ago, and I hate to like generalize so much, but like where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, you're not deleting messages for up to a year without a reason.
Smoke and like I saw the pictures myself. Like first of all, shout out to Brett McMurphy. Like this man, and like not that journalists with vendettas are like a good thing necessarily, but like I guess what we've learned from this situation is don't tell Brett McMurphy to his face that he's a liar, because he'll find the receipts.
Yeah, that's true.
Find the receipts he did, and the story just went layer after layer after layer after layer. Like, and then we found out like all the other crazy stuff that Zach Smith was doing, like ordering sex toys and like taking junk pics in the White House and affairs with staffers, and the list goes on.
Oh my God, I actually didn't even know about that stuff. That was just news to me.
It's rough. So like, I guess as a moral, sane human being, you can look at it one of two ways. Like either Urban Meyer didn't know that Zach Smith was like this scummy, wife-beating, really morally loose guy.
Yeah.
And he allowed him to continue to serve on his staff for so long, which I do not buy. And that's really an indictment like on his awareness as a coach of his program.
Yeah.
Or he did know of everything that was going on and chose to harbor him because he's his mentor's grandson or whatever the hell.
Yeah. Either way, it's not a good look for Urban.
Just a really dumb excuse either way. And like,
yeah.
Classic Urban, like, just comes out, gives like the most half-hearted apology, and like just reading straight from a script and acting like he doesn't want to be there. And showing no remorse whatsoever. So much so that he had to make a second apology for his apology.
Sorry about my first apology, guys.
And it's not even like a true punishment. Like, I could go on about this for another like 45 minutes, and we already decided we wanted to try and make these episodes shorter.
Yeah. We are nearing the 30-minute mark.
Moral of the story, no one should feel very good about supporting Ohio State athletics.
Yeah, anymore. No. We can agree on that. I wonder if Zach Smith, do coaches get to go to Last Chance U, Like, would that be a thing? Are we going to see Zach Smith on Season 4 in Indy?
I don't know, man. I think even Coach Jason Brown, is that his name?
Yeah, under Jason Brown's tutelage.
I think even Zach Smith, there's a lot of names. There's a lot of white names going on.
Yeah, a lot of generic white names for sure.
I don't know if Zach Smith would fit very well under Coach Jason Brown. I think even Jason Brown might find Zach Smith a little deplorable.
Yeah. No doubt. Well, I mean, that was a pretty good first episode back, I would say. We ran through some stuff.
Hit on some
stuff close to home.
I'm looking forward to watching some actual action, having some stuff to break down when we come back next week.
I know. We just got a couple more days. What is it, maybe 5 days till the first game?
Yep.
4 days?
What's today, Sunday?
So 4. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. We had the Week 0 games yesterday, though.
Yeah. Colorado State took an L,
Yeah, Wise winning the Natty Championship.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Nick Rowley, baby.
June Jones, former head coach.
All right, man. Well, let's sign off and get out of here.
Let's do it. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Peace, y'all. Appreciate the tutelage. Wrong word.